swear, sometimes being an artist is like running through the jungle with a bag of bricks on your back. Oh, and yeah, you're blindfolded. But does it really have to be that way? Hi, my name is Monique Thomas, and I'd like to welcome you to the very first episode of the Monique on the Mic podcast. In today's episode, I'm going to set things up for you and explain to you who I am so you know why you should be listening to me in the first place, what the show is all about, and why am I even doing a podcast? Let's not forget, I want you to know what to expect and look forward to throughout the episodes. They're going to happen weekly. So, who am I? I am a professional singer. I've been singing since the age of 2. I am now 48, and proudly so. I'm also a songwriter, a vocal arranger. I've done a lot of backing vocals, and I love doing that for international artists such as Swedish artist Robin, Lee John of the group Imagination, New Orleans gospel singer and organist Craig Adams, and so many more. I am currently on tour with the great Andre Rieu, doing a world tour, which is coming to end in November. Actually, I'm recording this while I'm on tour in Denmark. I tour a lot as a solo artist, usually gospel or jazz, and in this case, it's both. I travel a lot, so I have to get things done on the road wherever I can. Another part of me that I'd like to share with you is that I am a voice teacher. I have been training and working with students since 1998. And it's something I've loved doing, but I had a bit of a rocky start, as you might know if you listen to the trailer. Never wanted to be a voice teacher, but somehow I realized that if I learned the skills, that it was something that not only I could love doing, but I was actually good at. I really enjoy helping people get to their next level. So one thing that I do is voice lessons, so that's vocal technique. But the other thing I do is help students to find their style. I try to help them find their style and find what style of music is the best for them to sing, what's suitable for their instrument, for their personality type. You know, those things have to match and go together. I've also directed choirs for many years, and I still do from time to time, usually in the form of a workshop or a masterclass, because I just love choir singing, especially gospel. I am a forever curious person, so I can easily go down a rabbit hole with Google and YouTube and all these other things whenever I see something that sort of piques my interest. And the funny thing about that is it was always something that people would get mad at me for. You know, you ask too many questions, you talk too much. And lo and behold, those things led me, to who I am today. I'm somebody who speaks on a podcast, who communicates, and who's always curious about different things. Last but not least, I am a divorced mother of 2 beautiful children, 2 girls. And I can say that everything that I do for them. Children learn by example, and so I know that they're watching me more than they're listening to me, because you know kids don't listen. They're watching what I do, and so most of my major decisions, I always run it by them. And when I told them I was going to do a podcast, they said, "Oh, this is going to be cool." And I thought, oh, crap, what am I getting into? Because now I can't turn back. I have to put my money where my mouth is. So this is for you all, but this is also for them. So what's the show all about? Well, to my knowledge, I haven't heard of any other podcasts that were run by performing artists who are also vocal coaches. And correct me if I'm wrong, because there's millions of podcasts out there. But I felt like my voice needed to be heard. What I'd like you to understand is that most of the times I do something or I create something, I create it because I need it first. It's something that I'm feeling is missing. So in other words, all of the different things that I've gone through, and we'll talk about that in a second, I wish I had somebody to sort of help me avoid the bumps and bruises. So things like how to find the right voice teacher, dealing with your own ego, especially when it comes to listening to yourself, how to work with musicians, how to break into the music industry, how to become a professional musician, and all the other things that surround being a musician. And it's a lot. For some of you that might be students of mine and are listening, you're going to notice that things we may have talked about in class will come up. Now, while I'll never use any of your names, please note that things that you're going through in class are often things that my other students are struggling with. And so I feel like I need to address it. It's a perfect place for me to address these things. And so that hopefully you can hear it in a loving, in a caring manner. You know, the whole idea is that I'm helping you. I want to be a resource for you. In fact, looking at my struggling students and looking at myself, I realized that my real mission in life is to be this resource for other singers. I don't think that learning how to sing and navigating a professional career in music has to be so difficult. I mean, it's hard and it is work, but I don't think it has to be detrimental to your mental health. So at the end of the day, I've made it my mission to be a resource for serious singers, people who really want to do this. They want to do the work, but they don't want to go crazy doing it. I want to be your resource and help you navigate this artistic jungle. So now here's the big question. Why a podcast? I mean, do I think I'm like Gary Vee or Mel Robbins or something? No, I don't. I'm just a regular person with a whole lot to say. Hey, I want to give you a couple of stats. Since January, I have done a weekly newsletter. I've stuck to it every single week. I've not missed one. About 660 email subscribers, I would say. About 2,030 Instagram followers and 400 and something people on YouTube. Now, those are very low numbers. I do want to build them, but not just for likes, because I don't really care about likes. What I care is about helping people. The nice thing about a podcast is you're not obliged to look at your screen. You can just listen, so you're not distracted. I can talk to you in a way that I think it'll be easier to get my message across. The thing is, I am a communicator. It's something I've learned in my 48 years of life. I like to talk, and I think I'm pretty good at it. I tried YouTube. Listen, that's a lot of work. The editing is just, the learning curve is too steep for me right now. Maybe later I'll get into that. And if somebody wants to help me with the editing, we can talk about it. But for right now, this is the best medium for me to help you. Because what I'm trying to do is build a community of like-minded, serious singers. And as I'm trying to build a community, I'd like to call you something. I'd like to give you the name. It may be a little corny, but I like it. It's called Mic Masters. You are now my Mic Masters. And if somebody comes up with a better name than that, then we'll talk about it. But I like it because Mike starts with M and my name is Monique. It works for me. Here's how I'm setting up the show. It's going to be a mix of solo episodes. So yeah, me talking. Don't worry, I'm not going to be rambling. I'm going to be taking care of business and making sure that each topic is researched and is clear. But I'm also going to have some special guests, including people from the industry like famous vocal coaches, maybe some not so famous vocal coaches, but that are worthy of being known, some doctors, and artists. And there aren't going to be only singers. We're going to take some people from other fields because I do think that there's something to be learned from the process of making art and becoming an artist. As I mentioned before, I'm going to be talking about trends that I'm seeing amongst my personal students, but also some things that I'm seeing in the recording industry, things that are happening with the voice that I don't like. And it's a lot to talk about, y'all. It's really a lot. But don't be worried. I'm a positive person, so I'm always going to try to find ways to give you usable information. Mainly what I'm looking for is that artists become more self-aware. So I'm going to give you things that you can actually do to help yourself on this particular journey. Now, for you sciencey people, I'm just letting you know right now, there's going to be a little teeny tiny weeny bit of science on this podcast. There's not going to be a lot of that, and I'll tell you why. There is enough science stuff about the voice out there to keep your ears ringing forever. I personally am not interested in it. Now, let me be clear. I'm not saying it's not important, and I'm not saying it doesn't have its place. However, I don't think that science should come before the art. I think that science can explain and observe what we're doing. But I don't think, if I think of my favorite singers, they weren't ever concerned with science, and it didn't contribute to making them better singers. I'm interested in making you better singers and better artists, not better scientists. So if you're looking for a podcast that's heavily science-based, this is not the podcast for you. Sorry, not sorry. So just some final thoughts here. I want you to know that this podcast is actually a 2-part project. The first part, like I said, is to serve you, is to help bring you together and help give you a place where you can find some resources to get you through some issues you might be dealing with. But the second part is my own project on me. See, I've struggled with following through, finishing projects. See, my big problem is that I have more ideas than I know what to do with. And so it's really hard for me to settle down and finish one. So I need to know that I can finish this project. And finish it, I mean, stick with it, at least for a year, and see where this goes. So you guys are getting a first row seat to my personal project, and hopefully it'll be a lot of fun. So while I'm the person driving this ship, I do want you to know that this is your show. I actually want your feedback, and I want your questions, and I want to know if there are things that I haven't addressed that you would really like me to address. You can send those questions or comments to info@moniquebthomas.com. info@moniquebthomas.com. Now, if you're curious or you simply want to support me, what you can do is go ahead and listen to the 2 other episodes, because yes, I took the time to record 3 episodes so you could binge listen to them, right? And the last thing I want to say, because I'm a little quirky, if you've had a rough week and you're not lactose intolerant, I want you to go have an ice cream. Ice cream is fun. Go ahead, eat 1 scoop of ice cream, but just 1. Because if not, you're going to have to start listening to weight loss podcasts, and I don't want to lose you as a listener. Be well until next time. Musically, Monique.